Would you rather make a 10% premium on reservations 2, 3, and 4 months into the future, or try for 20% and not get any reservations? I think most of you would say the first option is better. Getting a 10% premium months in advance is ideal to no reservations, trying to go for a little bit more. I'm going to show you in this video why this is an underrated pricing customization. If you're using PriceLabs and you don't do anything with this customization, they're actually overdoing the far out premium by default. I'm going to show you how to reverse that, how to set a far out premium that's going to get you more reservations at a premium, how to check if what you've done is correct or not, because here's the thing about pricing, it's a guessing game. It really is. Any expert out there, any teacher who's telling you that they know how to price in every situation, pricing works like this, all the way down the line, from the most expert to the person who's guessing. Well, we're all guessing. I'm going to get into what I mean by that, so stick around. This is a very important video. It's going to make you more money, because if you can fill your calendar a little bit in advance, couple reservations, that makes life a lot easier, especially if you're doing so at a premium. Before we get started, I want to show you my dashboard. I want to show you that I practice what I preach. So I'm recording my screen now. We're seeing Airbnb. We are going to switch to hosting, go to dashboard, and I want to show you my occupancy and my nightly rate and how they compare to my market according to Airbnb. You can imagine if Airbnb says my occupancy and my nightly rate is higher than my competition, then I'm doing pretty good. Now, why do I choose occupancy and nightly rate? Oftentimes, what happens is when I look at hosts' accounts, their occupancy might be high. You can see mine. You want to switch over time to similar listings. So this past month, I've been nearly 100% occupied, and I am 36% higher than similar listings in the area. You can imagine being that high gets me ranked very high in search. Now, I want you to check your dashboard. This is how you know if you have a proper pricing strategy, if it's optimized for your market. Now, that's great only if also your nightly rate is high. Now, this is already set, same listing. We got it compared to similar listings. I'm $103 higher than similar listings in the area. You'll see if I go back a few months, that actually goes up to $120, $130 higher. So I want you to comment below, is your occupancy and nightly rate at least 30% higher? So $100 on 300 competition is about 30% higher, 33%. All right, now for now, we're gonna forget conversion rate. Now I have a pricing power hour, I call it. Hola, Brisa. A temporarily adopted Brisa pregnant dog. She now has 2 pups that I'm also adopting. They're actually already adopted. Okay, on with the video. So the pricing power hour, which I do, I'm now letting hosts come in who want to and sit in when I'm pricing my listings on Wednesday. The last class we did, we went over the intricate relationship between nightly rate, occupancy rate, and booking lead time, and how that can communicate to you where you are in the market and whether there's optimizations that can be done and not. Because if you have a booking lead time that's higher than similar listings, that's actually bad. You can optimize further. So now that you've seen what I'm getting with my stats here according to Airbnb, let's go to PriceLabs and let's see how far out discount is done by default and how you might want to change it to get more reservations. All right, the dashboard should look familiar. If it's not, then you can go to my playlist, my pricing playlist on YouTube, and teach yourself. I have a whole bunch of videos, and there's about a dozen coming out over the next few months. So be sure to subscribe, because I'm touching on specific topics like this one that I haven't done before. If you click edit here in customizations, you can scroll down, and I like that PriceLabs has now put in one tab, currently applied, everything that is applied. Now, current far out prices, if you turn that off, well, you actually have turned it on. But PriceLabs is doing what PriceLabs think is good. And in this case, they're saying starting 60 days out, gradually increase the price 19% over the next 80 days. Then constant at 19% after that. So 140 days out, it's always at 19%, but it starts to increase at 60 days out. Now, when I had that on, I noticed that I wasn't getting any reservations far out. So let's have a look here. Actually, I want to show you something. If we go to my calendar here, I'm going to click on this reservation, and it looks like we're getting about $600 per night for this reservation. Okay, so I'm going to take it back to the dashboard and we'll look at the nightly rate, and it's going to be lower than 600. That tells me, okay, my far out, I'm pretty sure this guy booked in advance. Let's have a look. His booking date was the end of June, so almost 3 months in advance. My booking lead time is 15 days. That's substantially 2.5 months in advance, substantially further out. And because of that, I got a higher premium. Now we are going to go back to the Insights dashboard. Okay, 386. So there you go, this stuff works. Back to PriceLabs. Now, I don't want that default on because if it's 20%, I'm not really getting that. So if we go here, and by the way, that was so much higher because that 386 number 400 takes into consideration weekdays and weekends. If we just saw my weekends, those price at around $500 a night. So what I want to do is I want to do percent gradual. That's what you want to do. This is my recommendation to you. Say after whatever your booking lead time is, you can find that in the dashboard. I go over that in other videos. In my case, it's 15. So I'm going to do at 30 days into the future, so twice my booking lead time, apply a 10% gradual premium over the next 30 days. Okay? So what we have done is we have lowered that far out prices. We pulled it in a little bit because on PriceLabs it was 60 days into the future. That's really far out into the future. Basically, no one is looking that far out in the future. So I want the premium to apply a little bit sooner, and I want it to reach that 10% cap a little bit sooner. So in my case, we're reaching a 10% premium at 60 days into the future. In the old way, we were reaching a 19% premium 140 days into the future. At 60 days into the future is when their premium started, okay? So there is some nuance around this, which is not suitable for YouTube. Getting into nuances is not suitable for this platform because I lose viewers. My retention tells me that when I get super detailed, you drop off. So what I've done is created a pricing power hour where I can go into the nuances. Not only that, but I take your direct questions. I do this on Wednesdays. The last class was 2 days ago. The next class will be at the end of this month. This is a recurring thing, so go over to that page and have a look and let me know if you like it or not. If you have any questions, send me a message. I hope that you'll join. I really do. We're talking about easily 20% extra revenue without doing anything besides optimizing your Airbnb pricing. I just chatted with a friend and he's thinking about buying an Airbnb from somebody. And I was giving him advice and I said, look, this is probably a good deal because when I personally buy Airbnbs, I try, ideally, to buy existing Airbnbs. And the number one, I look for a few things. The number one thing I look for after, of course, location, is what optimizations can I do? Can I add value? One of them is this host using dynamic pricing? You'd be surprised, many hosts are not. If a host is not using dynamic pricing and they're making X amount, I know that I can make X times 2. I've done this twice now recently. One, I brought the listing from 42,000 to 160,000. The second listing I just bought about a year ago, they were making in the 30,000s. I am going to be making it's because I added a bedroom. That's why I'm hesitating here. I added a bedroom. With the fourth bedroom, it was a 3.3. Now it's a 4.3. I'll be making $90,000. My pricing strategy works. I want you to give me a try. At least go watch some more videos. Convince yourself. If you need a little extra help, come on to the Pricing Power Hour. Till next time, happy pricing.